Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud is still in the concussion protocol before Sunday's game against the Indianapolis Colts. Will he be back? We had a brutal Monday Night Football game last night in more ways than one, and Shedeur Sanders' fever is at an all-time high. Maybe we need to get in on the action. I'm Paul Gallant, and this is the Gallant Says podcast. Hit it.
A radio show host in Seattle called Paul Gallant.
Paul Gallant's wondering the same things a lot of people are.
You are definitely living in the hindsight world today, Paul.
Do you feel there's been a consistent theme with the interceptions?
I think every interception really has a different story.
I was just kind of curious what Paul gets to say.
You got f***ing grow up, mother. Are you kidding me?
Paul Gallant, what the hell is wrong with you?
Oi! Welcome aboard the Gallant Says podcast live. It is November 25th, 2025. Yesterday, D'Amico Ryans, head coach of your Houston Texans, was asked about the status of starting quarterback when healthy, C.J. Stroud. Is he going to be back at practice? Is he going to be under center against the Indianapolis Colts? Here's what the head coach of the Houston Texans had to say.
Will CJ start this week?
Yeah, so for us right now, CJ and Jalen are still in the concussion protocol. So whenever CJ is back ready to roll, he's been our starter. He will be our starter whenever he's back ready to go.
When it comes to D'Amico is so annoyed there, and I don't blame him. I really do not blame him. I am ready for C.J. Stroud to be back out there. And I know there's going to be some of you who come in here and say that Davis Mills should still be the starter. But you're in the extreme minority. And unless you're fucking around a little bit, like I've been with some of those negative attack ads I made for the Mills Mafia against C.J. Stroud, no one actually has a serious argument as to why Mills should still be in there. Did you see the second half of Thursday Night Football between the Texans and Bills? Yeah, you saw it. I saw it. Woof. It was a tough watch. The Texans got conservative offensively. Mills deserves a lot of credit for stepping in and doing what he's expected to do. He's the second highest paid backup in the National Football League. But Stroud is a better player. That's all. You would think that there is a massive group of people that are pushing for Davis Mills to remain starter when you go on the internet. It's frustrating. Online discourse these days almost always leads to you, probably accidentally, finding some sort of opinion that gets you mad. That's how these algorithms work. The internet rage baits you into interacting with a post, clicking on a post, maybe thinking up a response to a post. It's awful. I hate it. I miss the days where this old man could just go on the radio and I'd get a couple of phone calls and maybe I'd get a text message here or there, but I didn't have to go on X and see things that make me annoyed to angry every 5 seconds. And people who, correctly, want C.J. Stroud back out there Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts in what could be a massive game for the Texans, potentially put them back in reach of winning the actual AFC South. You go on the internet and you're just seeing a lot of people argue there's no way that there should be a quarterback controversy between C.J. Stroud and Davis Mills. And there isn't. We were bored before Texans-Titans, and we thought to ourselves, wouldn't it be funny to create a quarterback controversy? But we were all doing that tongue-in-cheek. We were all laughing along as we did it. It doesn't actually exist. And yet, I can't believe how many people that are, I guess, colleagues of mine who are posting serious posts, multiple paragraphs, talking about how, wait a second, guys, CJ Stroud has to be back out there. How are there so many people who are pushing for Davis Mills? No one's doing it. No one's doing it. No one really is doing it. And it's actually, that's making me mad. The amount of people who are going out there for cheap likes and going full Don Quixote out there, fighting windmills and acting like there is this menace that we must snuff out. This isn't 2022 when there was an alarming amount of people that thought Davis Mills wasn't that bad and that he should be the starter going forward. Those people, you were down bad. You were like some of those Rockets fans over the last half decade after James Harden left who were like, man, Ty Washington's one of the best players I've ever seen. Have you seen anything in your life? So this is where I'm at. I'm just tired of seeing some supposed discourse, some supposed debate online about whether or not Stroud should be back in there under center. This is not a debate. Never has been a debate. It's only a debate if you want to goof off a little bit. That's what we did for a couple of weeks. Nice to get that off of my chest. Monday Night Football was last night. And good God. What an ugly game that was, huh? I watched it because I had some issues figuring out, really showing my age here, how to put on my alma mater, Syracuse, going up against Houston basketball. Couldn't figure it out. And I had issues trying to put on the Rockets game last night. Couldn't figure it out. But that's neither here nor there. Well, let's talk about the Monday Night Football game. Somehow, the Carolina Panthers that you saw last night had a winning record. I don't know how they did. Truly. Do you know how they did? I'm still trying to figure it out myself. That is a bad football team. Very bad. They played a San Francisco 49ers team that you would have thought, just given they're relatively healthy, would destroy them. No. In last night's game, Brock Purdy, starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, threw 3 interceptions. He looked terrible. 23 of 32 for 193 yards. But fortunately for him, on the other sideline, Bryce Young, who was smaller than me, looked very much smaller than me, out there under center with 2 interceptions of his own. That was a rough Monday Night Football game, and we've seen our fair share of bad primetime football this season, haven't we? We've seen a lot of it. Saw it on Sunday as well. At least the Rams are the best team in the league, so you got to watch them purring, rolling on all cylinders. But last night was terrible, except for one subplot that might have gotten lost in the shuffle. Did anyone see what happened between 49ers wide receiver Jauan Jennings and Panthers defensive back Trevor Moehrig? At the end of last night's game, once it was finally over for all of us, you probably saw a scuffle as guys were walking off of the field. Jauan Jennings hit Panthers safety Trevon Moehrig with a quick open hand right cross to his face mask. That's how ESPN writes it up. Pah, pah, pah! Why did he do it? Is he going to get in trouble? Well, late in the game, Moehrig punched Jauan Jennings right in the dick and balls. Just punched him. Boop. Just like that. Boop, 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 boop. He punched him right in the dick and balls. Not accidental. It is a punch. Dylan Brooks would have been proud. And we like Dylan Brooks now that he's played with the Rockets for a little bit. I don't know how annoying he was in last night's Rockets-Suns game because I wasn't able to watch it. But we saw a punch to the dick. And it makes me wonder the following. When you played sports, guys, did you wear a cup? Let's talk about cups here on the Gallant Says podcast. I never wore a cup. Probably should have worn a cup. I remember one time at football practice my junior year, not only did on one play while trying to make a tackle, not only did the person that I was trying to tackle get his knee right into the right place, as that knee went into my you-know-what skis, I was knocked to the ground and then accidentally stepped upon. My peen and my balls were bruised for quite some time. It wasn't fun. Wasn't fun at all. Should people start wearing a cup again? Should they? Perhaps it's time. Perhaps it's time to go back. To go back in time and protect yourself. Don't you want to have children? Don't you want to be able to do the shaboinkage as you go on in life? But he got punched right in the balls. I'd show you the video, but the NFL doesn't want us to see things like that. / I'd get copyright struck. And I'm just too lazy to actually put that on there and then deal with the fallout of a bunch of the balls after the fact. For whatever reason, I'm having a difficult time accessing the chat function on YouTube and Twitch and all of that. So we're probably going to be focusing mostly on TikTok and Instagram comments on today's show. I might need another screen. Been using a tablet off to the side, and for whatever reason today, the tablet does not want to show all of the chats that you're getting. So let's see what's happening on the TikTok side of things. Some comments. Do you like wearing a cup? Do you wear a cup to work? Do you wear a cup when you're around your kids? Because accidentally, sometimes it seems that they might, walk into them, run into them. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, God, you're dying. Or at least you feel that way for a little bit of time. You might be doing that. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Victor Ramirez says, hi from Lisbon. Wow. We got a Portuguese Texans fan. Portugal is a country that speaks Portuguese. You're welcome for that. Portuguese is, of all the Romance languages, the one that sounds the most unique, the one that sounds the most different. Kenny asks, do y'all have TikTok for ESPN 97.5? I no longer work there. And with the way things are going for them, I don't know if they have a TikTok anymore, seeing as the radio signal got hacked over the weekend. Don't you hate it when that happens? Victor Ramirez says, Davis Mills is a top-tier backup. CJ will be the starter, not a question. I totally agree. Yep, some people are offering streams that I could watch things on. Guys, I don't do the illegal streaming thing. You guys can. I just don't do it. I don't do it. It's a matter of principle. I shouldn't have to jump through hula hoops to watch sports these days. I shouldn't. And if they're going to make me do it, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be like a difficult little kitty cat, I don't take that I don't take that lying down. Sean asks, can we give Brock Purdy the treatment we gave Darnold versus the Rams? He was fucking terrible last night. I mean, 3 first-half interceptions. There were real calls to put Mac Jones back in as starting quarterback. It was rough. Purdy at least gives you a little bit of unexpected mobility relative to Mac Jones, who I'm not a fan of because I'm a Patriots fan, and that was not a fun era of Patriots football, even if it was partly on Bill Belichick and the coaching staff that was around Mac Jones. But, yeah, Purdy stunk. He was bad that game. So there's the treatment for Darnold against the Rams. Jess, I'm sorry. I'm not going to take your stream. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's illegal. Very, very illegal. What else do we have from the National Football League? Ooh, Jamar Chase. He apologized. He apologized for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. Do we want to grade his apology, Jamar Chase, for spitting on somebody? Here's what he wrote on Instagram. LaJ10_. To my team, fans, the Bengals organization, the Steelers organization, and the NFL community. Please know, I am speaking from my heart when I say I take full responsibility for my actions during last Sunday's game at Pittsburgh. Well, that's a step in the right direction because he outright denied doing it after the game was done, even though it was caught on camera. What I did was wrong. The circumstances don't matter. No, they don't. You spit on somebody. You're getting bullied over the course of a game by Jalen Ramsey. My passion for the game is no excuse. How could you use your passion for the game as an excuse? Please, Jamar, tell us. How? I'm just so passionate about football, I spit all over Jalen Ramsey. What? Let's keep reading. There's zero place in our sport or in life for that level of disrespect. If he wrote this, and if it wasn't written by artificial intelligence or by a Bengals PR person, by the way, the Bengals are cheap. There's a good chance they can't afford a PR person to write this letter for Jamar Chase. If he wrote this himself, I bet he thought it was really profound to have the dash or in life. Dash for that level of disrespect. Paragraph 3. I want to personally apologize to everyone within the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. You didn't need to say personally. You could have also said, to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm sorry. It's almost like he was trying to use more words to make this apology look longer. I let my emotions in the moment get the better of me. I can only hope and trust you know none of it represents who I am. Not as a competitor, teammate, or person. Statements like that are weird. This is not a reflection of who I am. All right, well, what the fuck is it? What is it, Jamar? By the way, hasn't apologized to Jalen Ramsey yet. We are 4 paragraphs in. I also want to apologize to my coaches, teammates, and organization for not meeting my own standards as a leader of this team. Yeah, man, you got suspended. You missed a game. You didn't apologize for that. You should say, I'm sorry for not being there Sunday in a game that the Bengals could have won. And they had a chance. They had a chance late. Imagine if they had more weapons out there for Joe Flacco to work with. More from Jamar Chase's apology. This has been a tough season with some incredibly hard losses. We've all been frustrated. But instead of stepping up with calm, class, and leadership, I let you down. My having to sit out yesterday's game makes my actions even more inexcusable. I won't let it happen again. Oh, thank you. You're not going to spit on anybody anymore? Things that we learned when we were little? Hasn't apologized to Jalen Ramsey quite yet. Let's keep reading. Finally, I want to apologize to my fans. I do not take anyone who wears my jersey for granted. I do not take my position as a role model lightly. As someone who strives to lead with character and authenticity, I should have taken immediate accountability for what happened. Yeah, you lied. Immediately. I suppose that you could use a legal defense like he might have used in his appeal, because he appealed the suspension, saying, well, if I was actually spitting at him, I would have actually spit in his face, not at him or towards him. I am committed to earning back your respect, not just with words. Good, because this is getting us nowhere. But with my actions, day after day, on and off the field. I promise to keep learning from this and to set a higher standard for myself moving forward. With respect, Jamar Chase. Not one apology to Jalen Ramsey. Apologize to Jalen Ramsey. It's not that hard. Honestly, if he had just said, I'm sorry, Jalen Ramsey, in person, doesn't even need to write this fucking note. Probably is going to be asked to write the note by the organization. Why not just apologize to him? Is it that hard to do? All he did was, I want to personally apologize to everyone within the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Apologize to Jalen Ramsey. No one else cares. They didn't get spit at. It was just Jalen Ramsey. That's all you got to do. Instead, you lied. You got suspended. You appealed to the suspension. And then you put this out 8 days later after the incident happened. I mean, come on. This is basic stuff. Are you 5? Bizarre. Let's keep on rolling. What? Keep rolling. The New Orleans Saints. You see this? Hear about this? They brought in Justin Tucker for a workout. The Saints are hosting a kicker tryout, and former Pro Bowler Justin Tucker is among those invited. His first workouts is being suspended 10 games by the National Football League for violating the league's personal conduct policy. That's interesting. A team that has hit rock bottom, that has also, in the not-too-distant past, tried to trade for Deshaun Watson. How about that? They're out here bringing in Justin Tucker. He's got his own massage, love, and fun. You know, he's a tense guy. Very tense guy. I'm trying to get the restream chat going so I can actually see your chats. I don't know why it's not working today. Alas, earwax. Yep, sorry guys. I don't know what's going on that front. So we roll on through. Rolling. We keep rolling. Victor Ramirez says, it sounds like you're doing an audiobook for 50 Shades of Grey, NFL edition. Yeah, that's true. That's what I'm doing. And that was Jamar Chase's apology for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. Spit all over him. Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns now. It finally happened. The discourse about Shedeur Sanders has been a lot, to be polite. A lot. It's been a lot. I think all of us are tired of it. I think some of us just wanted the Band-Aid ripped off so we could finally see whether or not Shedeur is good, so that hopefully Sanders' legion of irrational supporters who believe he has been railroaded by the National Football League will shut the fuck up. That's where I'm at. I want Sanders to succeed. I also want less of these people. And it's not all eggs on X and other social media apps. It's legitimate reporters who are showing him throwing screen passes and acting like that's a unbelievable play. But in defense of those people who are psychotic Shedeur Sanders stans, there's also a massive population of people that seem to hate Sanders no matter what he does before he's even had a chance to go out there and play. I don't believe that Sanders was necessarily a first-round caliber player if every team in the league looked the other way on him for nearly 5 rounds in the NFL draft. But I'm also curious to see him out there. He wasn't a bad watch in college. got sacked a lot, held on to the ball a lot, but he had some good moments with Colorado and with Deion Sanders. There's just real reasons to be skeptical of if he'll ever be the great quarterback that he believes himself to be. But I'm going to just ignore the psycho Shedeur stands for a moment and ignore the people that hate Shedeur for a moment. And I'm just going to focus on Shedeur. Shedeur, like his dad, is an extremely confident young man. One, all of us have been there at one point in our lives. If you're a guy, you've been there. I'm sure if you're a girl, you've been there before too. We've all been there to a degree. If you are playing for a Cleveland Browns team that's clearly hopeless on offense, and you've got this great defense that's on the field for half the game, that sacked Geno Smith 10 times on Sunday, that also has a pass rusher in Myles Garrett who has 18 sacks plus, is it 18 and a half, with 6 games left to play. He's going to break the NFL record. When you've got all of that, this elite defense on one side of the football and a wretched offense on the other, don't you want to have, if you're on that defense, a quarterback who's irrationally confident in a season where things have been difficult, frustrating, tough? You want to have hope, and you want a quarterback who at the very least has a pulse. Fuck the game manager stuff, right? We're past that. Start off the year with Flacco. You move on to Dylan Gabriel. None of it's worked. You want to feel like you have a chance to have a little bit of energy as you wrap up this season. You're not making the playoffs, but you want to believe you are building towards something in this organization, that you're not trapped. So regardless of whether Shedeur is playing at the level that some of his psychotic fans believe he is capable of, a person who has extreme belief in himself in that locker room, which is honestly all that matters, is not the worst thing in the world. It's not. You might be turned off by how confident he is. You might be turned off by how much pushback he gets for simply being confident. But exclude those two factions. This is good for the Browns, period. That's all. But of course, you can't get away from the discourse because we're all addicted to our phones. And whenever you go online these days, you are seeing and hearing a lot of stuff like this. This is Shedeur Sanders on the sideline with CBS Sports after the Browns took down the Raiders on Sunday.
Win is crazy. It's amazing, you know, off of 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? Just 1 week of practice. So imagine, you know, what a full offseason look like. It get dangerous. But it's just a 1 week of practice, so I'm just truly thankful, you know, that everything happened.
He's looking at the camera as he says a lot of that. I would show you the video, but we are not allowed to because the NFL apparently doesn't even let you broadcast post-game interviews on streams. But you can do it with press conferences, whatever. He's looking at the camera as he says that. Imagine what this would look like with a full offseason of practice. You know what? If I'm a Browns fan, and I've been at rock bottom for a long time, and this is the first rookie quarterback to win his first start in 17 quarterbacks. I don't even know. I think the last guy who did it was when the Browns were still in Cleveland before moving to Baltimore. You hear that? I mean, doesn't that make you feel a little bit better going forward as a fan? And if you're in the locker room, you might roll your eyes a little bit at that. You might. But shit, man, it's a long season. Don't you want to have some fun playing a game that you grew up loving? I see all the pushback, and yeah, it can get a little bit tiresome. But yeah, I don't have any problem with it. Do I think he had a great game on Sunday? Not really. But he gave the Browns a pulse. He was certainly only allowed to do certain things. When they got close to the goal line, they would turn the thing over to Quinshon Judkins, their awesome rookie running back. Shedeur Sanders, though, that confidence for the Browns exclusively, is it bad? I'm seeing a lot of people say, well, he's going to find out the hard way. The National Football League isn't for everyone. For sure. Yeah. It isn't. But I guess I ask, what did you expect out of Shedeur? Do you know who his dad is? His dad is maybe the most confident player to ever play football. He also could back it up, but if you were raised by a man like that, aren't you always going to have the most confidence in yourself you possibly can? The discourse about Shedeur has been insufferable, and if you do get past looking at, is this good for the Browns, with the obvious answer of yes, you're seeing people like John Root, who's got a profile that reads, Christ, Sports, with a Z, Culture. He posts, this is one reason why many people aren't very interested in rooting for Shedeur. This isn't confidence, it's arrogance. He talks like his dad without having the resume and skill set to back it up. Humility would go a long way. At this point of the year, I don't think humility's going anywhere. I don't, personally. I don't think humility is necessarily helping out the Browns. And I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a person who gives a shit about what other people think about him, which he deserves some praise for that. I'm not trying to glaze Shedeur Sanders here. I'm just trying to say, listen, Shedeur being confident is good for the Browns. That's all it should matter. But the discourse online, it's just tough. It's tough to get through it because it's like it's trying to pull you in to being either a Shedeur Sanders stan or a hater, if you will. A hater. I saw a post from Ian Harditz, who's some fantasy football guy, posting, where are the Shedeur Sanders haters at now? After Sanders threw a screen pass touchdown for about 50-plus yards. But it was a screen pass. It was a screen pass, and the guy who caught the screen, untouched, took it 70 yards. The Raiders are a hopeless mess. Like, they've clearly given up on the season, as they seemingly always do. But you see stuff like that, and you get annoyed at Shedeur and his army of supporters who are just annoying. Very annoying. What else? There was a post written by, and this is where it gets really frustrating. The people that have forced the issue of race into Shedeur Sanders and his plight, those grifters really suck. A post, I don't know who this person is, but her profile seems just incredibly insufferable. Kelsey Nicole Nelson, 2-time Presidential Lifetime Achievement Awardee. What the fuck does that mean? Award-winning sports journo. Okay. George Washington University professor, AU women's basketball color commentary, business owner, Atlantic 10 studio, and Listen In with KNN host. Award-winning sports talk podcast and radio show. Hosted by award-winning sports personality. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Tune into the show tri-weekly on 1340 a.m. Fox Sports. Well, she has a show, so how much shit can I talk? But the post reads, respect to Deshaun Watson for this. He hears the scrutiny and noise Shedeur Sanders is up against. Even with his own baggage, he showed up to support. Deshaun knows the plight of the black quarterback in the NFL. Real recognizes real. There's a picture of Deshaun Watson next to Shedeur Sanders. Watson's got a towel around his head. Does he need a permit to carry a towel in public? I don't know. I'm just asking the question for obvious reasons. Look, if Watson had his way, Watson would steal Shedeur Sanders' job in 5 seconds. He's not there to support Shedeur. He's there to show, hey, I'm almost ready to be back. Are you guys going to put me back on the field? The Browns probably have a tough decision to make about that, given all the money that they gave to Deshaun Watson. But he's showing up there for Shedeur Sanders. Right, sure. It's people like that that make it easy to hate Shedeur. I think a lot of Shedeur Sanders hate, it's partly the arrogance, but it's much more so the people that are supporting him are clowns like this guy, another unemployed talking showhead. I mean, look at this. Here's Skip Bayless.
Did that ever do my heart good? You probably won't believe this, but I got even more satisfaction out of watching Shedeur Sanders beat the Raiders in Las Vegas in his first NFL start
Than sex with my wife, Ernestine?
More satisfaction out of that did I get than watching the impossible comeback my Dallas Cowboys just pulled off.
Okay. I was wondering if he was going to really zag here. Nope. Okay. I don't believe you. I don't think he actually watched that game. It was probably a rough watch. No one wants to watch the Raiders. No one wants to watch the Browns. Skip Bayless is a Cowboys fan. He definitely cared more about the Cowboys' comeback win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, so it's people like that, like Skip Bayless, like that random radio host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson, that we posted a little bit ago. It's stuff like that. It's people getting mad about this post-game speech by Kevin Stefanski, where he's not crediting Shedeur Sanders enough. He didn't get on his knees to support Shedeur Sanders after this win. Here is...
Hey, how about that road win?
Stefanski.
Stayed resilient together like I told you we needed to, right? Stay resilient together, and we fought together. How about Gage's big punt return on special teams? How about Corey? Every single time you're out there pinning those guys doing your job. Great job. Offense wasn't perfect. How about that big play by Sam at the end? IB, huge play. Q, huge play. Harold making a big play. And then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. Well done.
It was a nice job. It wasn't anything more than that. It's not like he took the world by storm there. He had a solid game. He made some nice throws downfield. That's it. People are looking at that part of the speech by Kevin Stefanski and are acting like he hates Shedeur. He can't stand to see Shedeur. He can't stand to see Shedeur doing well. He can't stand it. Nothing quite like doing radio and not stopping talking for 40 minutes, and you just got to blow a little loogie out. Which I just did, but to bring it back to Kevin Stefanski and to bring it back to the Cleveland Browns. People saw that and they just decided, I'm going to lose my shit about the lack of support Shedeur Sanders is getting. More from Shedeur Sanders. Maybe this is a reason that some people are just so damn annoyed with Sanders. Here is Shedeur talking about veteran quarterbacks being thrust into difficult situations their rookie year.
Everybody could analyze, everybody could say everything from sideline. You could watch TV, everything. You could talk on TV, whatever you want to do. But until you get out there and you do it, then it's different. Going out there, with, only practice with the $100 and everything, like, that's different. It's a lot of vet quarterbacks, that had their time and everything that were backups and was able to get thrown in the game and be all right. But I don't think they was like that in their rookie year. That's a difference, Like that's different, and I'm thankful for that experience because that helped me get to where I am today. That helped me go into the game very comfortable, knowing that they got a great defense with the Ravens, knowing the different looks, how they could be confusing to the naked eye. But that's why during the game I was smiling so much, because I'm like, oh yeah, if this what it is, I know I'm gonna be able to accept that challenge and move forward one day and be able to have success.
I'll just say this, Shedeur. The Raiders are fucking terrible, so it's going to be more difficult most weeks. It's not going to be that easy every week. The Raiders seem to have quit. They fired their offensive coordinator. They had players getting in a fight on the sideline. It's not going to be that easy every single week. But hey, if you got confidence coming out of it, good. It's good. It's good. Characters like this are good for the National Football League. It's good for me. You know, even if the discourse is at times insufferable. More Shedeur Sanders after his victory over the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's great at understanding perspectives and stuff because you got to really take a deep dive at how we grew up. Like when we grew up, my dad had us in a 30,000 square foot home. Then after that, he took us to go play ball in the inner city. You know, after that, we transferred and he moved us across town because he wanted us to get that dog in us, you know, to have that mentality, to have that it factor in us. So,
what, prep school kids? Prep school kids can't play hard? What are you talking about? That's classist. You've never heard of a hardo that's gone to a prep school like, I don't know, a Thayer Academy or a Shorecrest Preparatory School where you have butlers bringing your books to class?
So then we went to charter schools, and I don't know if you're familiar with charter schools, and like, you know, it's not the best, but you know, you got a lot of different people from different situations that you got to be able to adapt to. So that's where all those core different things of being able to relate, being able to understand. But now, since I went through everything the past 6 months, it led me to a whole different understanding, you know, and it led me in my own experience with God, with having faith, you know, when nobody else can help you in your situation, you know, but God, you know. So that's why I'm truly thankful and I'm truly happy. And this is the first time I've never had stress, you know. I did the work. I did everything I can in my power I was able to do. So the rest was left.
So there you go, guys. That is the one and only Shedeur Sanders. And we'll see how he does in his next start for the Cleveland Browns. I have no issue with him being confident. I know some people interpret it as arrogance. I think everybody in the Browns locker room is happy that he's getting an opportunity because that defense should not be wasted the way it's being wasted. Adrian Gonzalez says, quit being a hater. Who's being a hater? Who's being a hater? It's about as much support as you're going to get for Shedeur Sanders from somebody who's completely neutral and who's annoyed by his psychotic fans who are completely irrational. Who's being a hater here? Rob the Slob says he def hates Sanders. I think you're talking about that Kevin Stefanski. I don't think Stefanski hates Sanders. I think Stefanski hates the situation he's in, where he's forced to put Sanders in there instead of allowing a young quarterback to develop who he probably wanted in there. There is definitely a dynamic in National Football League locker rooms where coaches have their guys that they believe in, and they want to give those guys as much time as they possibly can to succeed. But in a season like this one, where the Browns have been bad and their defense has been great, but offensively, it's just been really difficult for them to do anything when it comes to throwing the football. You got to keep on cycling guys in if you want to keep your job and give your team the best chance to win. And Stefanski's in that weird spot where he's a two-time coach of the year, but I don't know that he's going to be back next season. I don't know that he'd want to be back next season either. So there you go, everybody. Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Browns quarterback. We'll see how much longer he's able to go. If you're just tuning in, we did talk about CJ Stroud still being in the concussion protocol. He has not yet been cleared for practice. I imagine he will be by the end of the week. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about, and I think that any talk of a quarterback controversy between Stroud and Mills is crazy. I don't think anyone's been able to put together a serious argument in support of Davis Mills that has anything to do with what he's actually put on film. Yes, they're 3-0 with Mills under center. How much of that is that the best defense in the league. It's like almost all of it. You love that Mills steps in, that he does his job, but are you expecting Mills to do that on a regular basis? Are you expecting him to do that against the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday? No, you're not. Stroud needs to be back out there. And that's going to be a tough matchup for the Texans. See a couple of comments. Esoj7 says on TikTok, by the way, if you're watching on TikTok, please give me a follow. I'm pumped for the Colts game. Let's go Texans. Jaleel CDL says the Colts will win by 14 this weekend. 14. 14? I don't know about that. 14-point dub. Look, the Colts have, I think, in Shane Steichen, a really good offensive mind who, a couple of years ago, with Gardner Minshew under center, was a fourth down drop away from potentially knocking the Texans out. And then he had to deal with this back and forth with Anthony Richardson where he felt forced to play him. And he plays him, and he stinks, and he's getting hurt, and he's checking out of games when he's tired. Like Richardson doesn't have it upstairs. It's not me saying he's dumb. It's me saying he just didn't seem to care as much as he needed to. He didn't seem to put in the work. A lot of accounts suggesting that. So that's what you're hearing about a guy like this. You got to wonder, what does he get, Shane Steichen, with a quarterback who's good? And to Daniel Jones' credit, he's been a lot better this season, but over the last couple of weeks, it does seem like things are regressing. Like teams have figured out a way to stop him. I imagine the Texans saw whatever the Chiefs did Sunday, specifically with how they slowed down Jonathan Taylor, and they're taking notes and they're trying to figure out a way that they can implement the same thing themselves. And I honestly think that the Texans defense will do a good job against that element of the Colts. It's really a matter of what the fuck is Daniel Jones going to bring to the table? And I don't know the answer to that. But I feel good about the Texans' chances. It's a road game, so it won't be easy. It's Stroud's first game back in a month. So while he hasn't cleared the concussion protocol yet, I expect him to. There's probably going to be a little bit of rust at first, which is a shame because it felt like after that 49ers game and for the first quarter against the Broncos, like he had finally figured out what he's supposed to do in this offense. Death by 1,000 cuts, which he has said somewhat begrudgingly over the last couple of times that he's talked about this offense. What else do we have here? Omar says they will forget about Davis Mills when CJ has a good game. I think you're right. Brian Vincent says fake news. Houston sports legacy media hates on Davis Money Mills. I mean, no one's had more fun with his quarterback controversy than me. But I've never seriously felt that Davis Mills should be the guy over C.J. Stroud. And I don't think anyone really has, unless they're trolling and screwing around a little bit. Because some people get very defensive about C.J. Stroud. But, yeah, I'm not enabling a quarterback controversy. And I think the people online that are my colleagues that are going out there and saying, like, I can't believe people want Davis Mills to start. You're a bunch of Don Quixotes out there. I'm going to beat up the straw man. I'm going to beat up the scarecrow. Look at me. Relax. Okay? Just relax. Before we hit the road, I wanted to talk about two games last night. First off, I wanted to talk about the Cougs-Syracuse game. As you all know, I'm the biggest Cougs fan in Houston. I say that because I root for the Cougs, even though I didn't go there. Okay? Paul, you're just a bandwagon sports fan. Yes. Yes. Thank you. That's a compliment. I went to Syracuse. That's my alma mater. I have hated watching Syracuse basketball for the last couple of years. So I actually was really excited to watch last night's game. Only I found out that it was on TNT, which I found out that Fubo TV, which I pay an arm and a leg for, still doesn't have TNT. It still doesn't have it. Fubo TV brags about being the app where you can watch all of the sports. That's why I have it. If I weren't working in sports, I wouldn't have a television subscription of any kind. So here I am trying to figure out how to watch it, and I realized, okay, well, at least I could watch it on HBO Max. And I don't really give a shit admitting this anymore because I see some people that are pushing for streaming. I don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, I was sharing a HBO account with family members. It seems like they have gotten wise to that finally. So I'm paying all this money for Fubo TV. I don't have the ability to watch TNT unless I have HBO Max, which all of a sudden was saying, are you the primary holder of this account? So when that happened, I said to myself, fuck, I guess I have no way to watch this game because I'm not doing the illegal stream. I'm not bending over backwards to watch sports. I'm not doing it. It should be way easier to watch sports. I'm debating going back to regular cable. At this point, why the fuck not? Why not? What is the point? It is so goddamn hard to watch all of these things, let alone afford all of these things. They are practically begging you to illegally stream stuff now. Is TNT on YouTube TV? I don't even know. It used to be available on everything. If you had cable growing up, TNT was one of the major cable channels. Now, you got to double check to see what you have and what you don't have. I also found out, and I thought I did through my cable subscription, have free access to Peacock. I figured out I don't have Peacock. So I thought to myself, okay, fuck it. Well, I do have a antenna that I could use for my TV. All I got to do is turn the TV on and scan to find it. But then I found out that Roku TV has changed their live TV situation, even if you do have an antenna hooked up, to a point where now the channels that they show you are these bullshit channels that no one watches that are available digitally, but not the ones that you want to watch, like ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, or at the very least, it can scan and get them, but every single time you turn your TV off, the next time you turn it on, you have to rescan it just to get those channels. This is a Roku TV update. So last night, I spent a good hour trying to fucking turn on some sports games that I'm paying so much money, I should be given already. It's crazy. Fubo TV, I'm paying, what is it? $380 a quarter for Fubo TV. $380. No NBC. No TNT. What the fuck? And I'm getting a discount for getting it quarterly. It's so hard to watch games these days. And what are we getting from all this money that we are spending on these apps? What are we getting? How about this? I don't care if I get copyright struck for this. This is the lamest thing that I've ever fucking seen in my life. On NBA on ESPN's Instagram, they posted, nobody's doing longevity like these two. Watch the NBA on ESPN all season and stream Grey's Anatomy on Hulu. They're showing LeBron and they're showing Grey's Anatomy next to one another. Wow, what an incredible run by LeBron. Wow, what an incredible run by Grey's Anatomy on Hulu, owned by ABC. Fuck you! It's crazy. Yeah, you could watch Grey's Anatomy or the NBA on ESPN. I don't want to watch either, to be perfectly honest. I don't. I want to watch the NBA on NBC, the good product. I don't want to watch the NBA on ESPN. But I have to watch NBA on ESPN because ESPN owns most of the rights. But this is the lamest fucking thing I have ever seen. This right here. I can't believe they did this. And this is what your money's going towards. It's towards bundles that blend together Disney and ABC and sports and ESPN. Oh my God. I don't want to subscribe to anything anymore. I don't even want to watch sports anymore. I'm just disgusted. LeBron James' career run is just like that of What's-Her-Face McGee on the television show Grey's Anatomy, which is still running. She's going through menopause now. Will she be able to handle having menopause and being a doctor? Unbelievable. Although I guess it's not unbelievable anymore. Anyway, it's the end of the Galot Says podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. It's on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Subscribe, rate, and review. It's also available on YouTube at Pogalot. Like and subscribe. It's on Twitch too. Give me a sub, maybe a follow. I'll take both. X at Galot Says Pod. Instagram at Sports Galot. And on the TikTok at Galot Says. Facebook at Pogalot Sports. If you want to go on that hellscape and see a bunch of people getting confused by artificial intelligence and a bunch of other random posts that are clearly fake, but everybody believes it because they're all 53. Yes! Yeah, that's going to wrap up the show. I hope that you guys have a great Thanksgiving. This is going to be my last live show before Thanksgiving. Tomorrow, I did a pre-recorded show with David Nuno, with Raheel, to get a little Texas A&M perspective before the big game on Friday. On tomorrow, I am filling in on a radio station in another city from here, from this room right here, from 6 to 10. It's KCMO if you want to check it out. You're gonna be in for quite a dramatic change in content. Thursday, I'm off. Friday, I'm going to be on Sports Radio 610, filling in the loop from 10 to 2. So that'll be a whole lot of fun, everybody. A whole lot of fun. And you guys are so fun, and I love you. I love you. I hope you love me. Please support me so that I can support my cat. That's going to wrap it up, though. So, this is the last live show. Please tune in for tomorrow's. Follow, like, subscribe, and all the thingies. And until Sunday, where we will have a live watch party for Texans Colts. And on top of that, after that, on Sunday for a Texans Colts post-game show. Until then, I am merely Paul Gallant. So long. Farewell.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
And have yourselves a wonderful Thanksgiving.